What is going on, y'all? It's your boy Marcus Washington back again. You're on the mark where we talk everything Falcons football, man. And, I got my name Negro Damas, fam, for a reason. And I be hating to toot my own horn. But it looks like, barring something ridiculous happening by this weekend, like I said, Atlanta will be bagging the big fish and Bill Belichick. Now, some people are low-key mad about this. Some people can't stand this. And that's cool. That's fine. But like I said, like last week, I'll see y'all at training camp. I'll see y'all boys at training camp. But I told y'all over here, listen, and this is no shot at content creator. We don't know everything, fam. But sometimes you got to read the writing on the wall. I watched somebody yesterday talk about the Falcons. Don't be surprised if the Falcons don't choose a coach by February. And I'm like, what? Or, them allowing Ryan Nielsen to interview for other jobs doesn't mean that they're a step away from hiring a coach. It could mean the opposite. I'm like, bruh, stop. We were blocking a lot of spots. When I saw yesterday that they were allowing Ryan Nielsen to interview for the Jags, I think he's got like two other places that are interested too. Right then I was like, them and Bill talking. Because if Bill comes, there's no reason. And listen, family, I like Ryan Nielsen. The guy earned my respect. But my guy, Bill Belichick is arguably the best defensive coach of all time. So there's no reason to keep Ryan Nielsen. Bill Belichick is going to call his defense. That's just the facts. So when I saw Atlanta lift that and allow Ryan, I'm like, oh, bro, it's on and popping now. I said that yesterday. If y'all look in my community tab, I put this up yesterday. Now today, family, this comes out by Ian Rappaport. At 10:06 this morning, former Patriots coach Bill Belichick will have a second interview with the Falcons brass this weekend after meeting with the owner Arthur Blank one-on-one this past week. Things are ramping up with the greatest coach of all time. Fam, I told y'all last week, Atlanta need to make a move on this boy Monday. What happens on Monday? Your boy allegedly out in the Virgin Islands on Arthur Blank's dreamboat, sipping daiquiris, talking rosters. I see that. Hey, by this weekend, these boys gonna make a move. He's meeting with them a second time this weekend. It's your coach. Barring something crazy going down, they will announce Bill Belichick as the next coach. And seeing how things have transpired around the NFL, Washington was out on Bill Belichick. They're probably going younger. The Cowboys announced this morning that they were sticking with Mike McCarthy, which makes sense. The man won 12 games the last 3 seasons. What's happening in Dallas isn't a McCarthy situation. It's a Dallas situation. Same thing happened with Jason Garrett. Same thing happened with Wade Phillips. And then when you add to the fact he's only been the coach 3 years, Dallas hasn't won anything in 30. You can't put that on the head coach. At least they know with Mike McCarthy, they're going to make the playoffs. So it's kind of hard, fam, to fire Mike McCarthy. But herein lies another thing also. Let me share this real quick. So this was a report. Hold on, let me make sure I got this right. I don't know what the hell this is. Okay. All right. And I'm going to get to some of these comments in a minute, fam. This came out earlier this week. Bill Belichick targeting talented yet underachieving teams amid Falcons buzz. Bill's trying to prove a point here. If he goes to Dallas and wins a chip, they've won chips in their franchise. Defense loaded. Offense got a quarterback there. Philly, I don't think, is getting off of Nick Sirianni. Players are campaigning for him as we speak. The Chargers' job, even though we interviewed Jim Harbaugh, I think Jim Harbaugh was just making the rounds. I firmly believe the Chargers got a bullseye on Harbaugh and will probably grab him. And if we're being honest, the Chargers need Jim Harbaugh, especially over there in the loaded AFC. So once Dallas got off the table, where else are you really going to get this type of challenge? Bill is trying to prove a point. I'm going to go in the same division that Tom Brady went to. I'm going to take a team that cannot get over the hump, that has been a laughingstock of an organization for the last 6 years, and I'm going to carry them to the top. Family, if he wins one here, they'll be fucking building statues of Bill Belichick. Those are facts. Plus, when you look at the roster, it ain't a rebuild. Defense looks good. I got an all-pro in Jesse Bates. Salary cap, we got space. We got draft capital. If I want to go get a quarterback, I don't know if Russell Wilson is still in play because Denver is trying to do an about face towards Russell Wilson. If I'm Wilson, I'm like, fuck y'all, I want out. You got Kirk Cousins, who might still be a possibility. You got Justin Fields, who might be a possibility. But if not, you can move up in the draft, get your guy. I told y'all this last week, fam. Arthur Blank is out here big game hunting. And after that press conference last Monday, they had to. Because they absolutely falconed the press conference. So how do you quell this? You bring in the greatest coach in NFL history. I don't care what you think about Bill Belichick or what he did the last 3 years. My thing is, what did we do the last 3 years? So we don't have room to talk. But what did he do the first 21 years? So again, I expect by Sunday night, them to have announced Bill Belichick as the head coach come Monday press conference. I think what they're doing right now is just ironing out language in the contract. That's it. And listen. We do slam over here, But we also have to give credit over here. What Arthur Blank and Rich McKay and Terry Fontenot, what they've done in this coaching cycle, I can't ask them for nothing else. They interviewed everybody that you wanted to interview. Even threw Harbaugh in the mix. Harbaugh probably wasn't even at Play Fam. But they interviewed him too. But this was the guy all along. And, we said over here last week, there are three guys you need to be eyeballing. Nobody else really. Belichick, Pete Carroll, and Jim Harbaugh. They interviewed 2 out of the 3. For people that don't like this hire, get on board. You want a championship? Bring in a guy who has 6, went to 9 Super Bowls. The one thing we do know he knows how to do is get to the Super Bowl. Great defensive mind. So if Ryan Nielsen has to walk out the door, which I hate because I like Ryan Nielsen, you're bringing in the GOAT of defensive play calling also. Now, offensively, it's going to be interesting to see what they do and where they go in that route. But unless something just absolutely terrible happens this weekend, they get to a part of the negotiations they just can't agree on, that's the only thing I see breaking this up. Outside of that, man, the next one-on-one might be on the moon. They won the yacht in the first one. But I'm going to give Blank some major respect for this. You pulled out the big guns and you went after the big guy. Can't do nothing but respect that. So let's get to some of these comments, man, because I've been going on for about 15 minutes. John says, what's up, Marcus? Definitely enjoying all the lives. Appreciate that, man. Nathan says, Mark came on right in time for my break. What's going on, my guy? What's happening, man? What's happening? Maddie says, prime time in Vegas next season. At least, I see Atlanta having maybe 3 prime time games next year. 3 minimum. It would not shock me if the first week of the season we got the primetime game. Wouldn't shock me. Boski, what's going on? What's going on, Q? He says, what's up, Mark? Let's get it cracking. Yes, sir. Damon says, I see the countdown. What's good, Mark? Negro Dominus about to go full on Cat Williams mode. Get Rich McKay ass up out of here ASAP. Yeah. Carlo, what's going on? He says, gang, gang. What's going on, Denise? Denise says, hey, Mark, you were right. Hey, you just gotta read the writing on the wall. Now, there were a lot of potentials. I just didn't feel like Ben Johnson was the guy for us. Ben Johnson, I can see Ben Johnson somewhere in Tennessee or something like that. But you gotta look at, we've been eating coordinators for 20 years. Like, this cycle was different. Now, if Bill Belichick wasn't in play, Pete Carroll wasn't in play, Jim Harbaugh wasn't in play, then I can see somebody like Ben Johnson. But with all 3 of these guys, you got to go for what you know. You got to go for what you know. And those are just the facts. What's going on, G? What's happening? Country Boy says, Marcus, I say see y'all season opener. Yeah. Maddie, what's going on? He says they're not going to block then unblock for no reason. The new staff is coming. Exactly. Especially Ryan Nielsen. Because, we've been saying it over here for a while. The only guy that's kind of untouchable is Ryan Nielsen. So you made it clear to people that, hey, we're unblocking him. He can go interview with whoever he wants to. This tells me that Bill Belichick got 1 foot, the tip of the dick in the front door. He done already already bought some Falcon. Well, he ain't got to buy nothing. They probably sent him a box of Falcon hoodies. He done already cut the sleeves off. Carlos says, yeah, I hate that Nielsen came here to get bounced possibly. Man, that's the nature of the business. What I will say, though, Nielsen going to land on his feet perfectly fine. Out of all the coordinators, Nielsen, to me, between Nielsen and Ben Johnson, I would go Nielsen. Not only for what he did here, but his work in New Orleans. Y'all remember when we got him, Cam Jordan was pissed that we got Ryan Nielsen. So he gonna land on his feet gracefully, like Ulbrich did. Alberto, what's going on? He says, Mark, what's good? I think he was already hired when he left the Patriots. Just seems all planned out with the Falcons and the Patriots. Yeah. Gavin says, I'm shocked how many Falcons fans don't want him. It's insane. Hey, listen, I'm gonna keep it a thou wow with you guys. A lot of people don't want him because of what happened in the Super Bowl. That's it. There's a lot of bitterness that people have for Patriots. I understand it, fam. Trust me. I know this all too well. But we stand on logo business over here. Whatever it takes for us to hoist that Lombardi, I don't care where it comes from. Fam, Ryan Nielsen came from New Orleans. We hate New Orleans. Anything that it takes for us to win, bring it. Bring it. But I get the bitterness. I understand that. Gavin says, I've always said you're psychic or Falcons listen to you because everything you say they do. It's just sometimes I've been wrong on a couple things too. But things like this, you kind of look at and you're like, when early on, well, I can't say early on, but midway through the season when there were speculations that Bill Belichick was on his way out the door. I was like, well, that would be a good fit here, but I was leaning more towards the Chargers because they already had a quarterback. They have pieces on defense. They got Keenan Allen. They got Austin Eckler. They got a couple of pieces over there. And then I saw what their salary cap situation was. And then I'm like, I don't know about that. So I backed up off of that. And then this was before Jim Harbaugh even came into the picture. So it just seemed more or less like, yeah, this would be a good fit. I don't think the 15 games, I don't even think he's worried about becoming the all-time winningest head coach. He's going to get that anywhere. What I think Bill wants to do is get a chip on a team that hasn't done shit. And when you look at that, Dallas has already done something. Philly's already done something. But Atlanta, if I can get Atlanta to the promised land, I'm the GOAT for real. There isn't even a discussion. I'm the GOAT. This is the same team I came back on 28-3. I go there a couple of years later and I take them to the promised land. Then you have to look at our division. Very winnable. Very winnable. Takes them out of the AFC where all the young guns are, all the hot teams. Don't have to worry about running into the Ravens. Don't have to worry about running into the Chiefs, the Bills. So it just makes sense. Just makes sense to me. Country says the NFC South is ours. And playoff run in Super Bowl. Yeah. But yeah, man. And listen, let me say this. Shout out to everybody in the comment section. Smart Ride says, true, if he gets us a Super Bowl win, that puts him over Tom Brady. Yeah. Or at least it matches him. But what it does prove is he doesn't need Tom Brady to win a chip. Tom Brady already proved that. Country says, Marcus, we got the eighth season opener too. Oh boy, that's a primetime game. If that's who we got for, that's a primetime game, fam. Carlos said, I'm definitely one of those folks. He's been the op too long. Hey man, he disavowed his colors. He said, man, listen, I'm done wearing the white and blue. I want to rock the red and black, man. Let me bring him on in. Let's see him put in work. But I'm at a point now, man, where again, it should be no later than Sunday night, barring something ridiculous happening. Because that still is on the table. We are the Atlanta Falcons now. But barring that happening, by Sunday night, they'll been announced this man is the new head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. Then you're probably going to see the dominoes drop. You'll probably see Jim Harbaugh to the Chargers sometime next week. You'll see Mike Vrabel get to a team. I'm looking at a team like Washington with Vrabel. I do want to see Wilkes get a job, but it's like the Titans might be holding out for Ben Johnson. The Patriots job is already taken by Gerard Mayo. But a lot of these dominoes will fall next week. Maddie says we have no idea who we play game one. Hey, if it's the Saints, it's a prime. Whoever it is, it's probably going to be a primetime game. It's probably going to be a primetime game. Michael says, I don't want Bill, not gonna lie, haha, but it's looking like he's in the same situation, no QB. Here's the thing though. I firmly believe that they're gonna keep Fontenot on. This is what I want to see. Because I don't think Fontenot deserves to have his job taken. But I have a feeling that they're going to go after a veteran quarterback. So what quarterback that is, I have no idea. I don't think they're drafting a quarterback. I think they're going to go veteran. They might draft one next year, but they're going to go veteran quarterback this year because Atlanta's in win now mode. Like Terrence Mathis always says, big up to Terrence Mathis. If you're not in win now mode, what are you doing? Like, really, what are you doing? Now, to me, I'm going to be honest. If I was the GM and they going to let me cook, listen, I'm on the phone. I'm talking to Chicago. I'm talking to Minnesota. I'm talking to Denver. What is it going to take? I'm not going to give you a first rounder for any of these guys. Because I'm looking at my draft capital. I'm like, we good. If I'm able to nab one of those quarterbacks, family, I'm jumping up in the draft and I'm getting Marvin Harrison. So now you got Harrison and Drake London. And again, I'm saying this because I'm an offensive-minded guy. Y'all already know what time it is. But could you imagine Justin Fields, Marvin Harrison, Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, Kyle Pitts, John Newsom? Family, it's over. If you can't score 30 with that team, fam, blow up the whole team. And for people that say, oh man, why would you go get Marvin? Why would you go up to get Marvin Harrison? Harrison ain't gonna be there at 8. But that offense right there alone should win you the Super Bowl. On top of the fact that our defensive guys, I ain't heard Calais Campbell throw up the white flag yet. We just saw Jason Kelce announce he was retiring right after the Eagles lost. Man was on the sideline crying because he knew it was over. I ain't got another year in me. Calais is sounding like, man, I got another 1 or 2. You get Grady back. We got Jesse Bates sold up. AJ probably running back. Offensive line solid. Bruh, man, that's what I would do. That's what I would do. And wish other teams good fucking luck stopping this. Now, offensive coordinator, not 100% sure. I'm just going to be honest. Not 100% sure. I would try. Let me look up something real quick. All right. So I don't know what Eric Bieniemy's situation is in Washington 100%. But and I would hate this for Eric Bieniemy because for me, he should be offensive coordinator moving to head coach. I'm just going to be honest. But if you could get him, bring him to the A with what I just put out there on the table, that's it. But to me, that's a pipe dream. I don't think Eric Bieniemy is either going anywhere. I thoroughly believe this guy deserves a shot at a head coaching job. Jack says, man, your last live had me playing Candy Rain all damn day. Here for it, though. I'm definitely a 28-3 Bill hater, but if this means McKay is out of football operations, I'm down. I agree. Matt says, Harrison ain't dropping past Arizona. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how they work this, though. Dean says, imagine that team with a leader they can believe in. Well, the one thing we know for certain, Bill gets in here day one, respect is there. Because the championship pedigree is there. If you can't respect championship pedigree and you ain't won shit, you don't need to be in the building. These are family. This is essentially like Michael Jordan walking into a basketball camp. How you gonna critique anything? Been there, done that at the highest level. So Bill gonna get that respect day one. Now, we've heard Kyle Pitts. The injury was a lot worse than people thought it was. Kyle Pitts gonna be towing the line. Ain't no half-ass running routes. Now, if he was hurting, that's the reason. Okay, but these guys gonna be running top speed. Everybody's towing the line with a guy like that at coach, because you want what he has. I'm watching Teddy Bruschi, damn near in tears, talking about Bill when his run was over in New England. So for me, I expect by Sunday night, it wouldn't shock me before the Sunday night game hits that they didn't announce that Bill Belichick is the new coach of the Atlanta Falcons. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that it would shock me if they announced it Saturday. For whatever reason, I think they're going to wait till Sunday, right in between the afternoon game and the late night game. Right in between there, they go announce that Bill Belichick is the head coach. I could be wrong though. But by this weekend, I think they ain't no need to play around with this thing. This is what I want to see. Whether this was Bill Belichick, Jim Harbaugh, or Pete Carroll. This video is pretty much the same. But I have to give credit to Blank and McKay. Now, what happens with McKay? I don't know, but y'all notice we ain't really seen McKay since that press conference. They've been hiding McKay like he's Kamala Harris. You ain't seen him since then. And you probably won't see him none this season. And that's fine with me. That's absolutely fine with me. I don't want to see McKay at all. Now, if we hold up the Lombardi and he makes an appearance, ain't nobody gonna give a fuck. Nobody gonna care. Ain't nobody gonna be checking for Rich McKay. Artavius, what's happening? He says, I don't like Bill, but if he can bring that toughness and competitiveness to the organization, I'll take it. I definitely think that happens day one. Because what I've noticed, our last three coaches, they end up being friends of the team. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it's more friend than coach. And it needs to be coach up front. And then, you know, there's probably a side of Bill that's nice that we don't ever see. They talk about it in New England all the time. Woodley talked about a situation where he came into camp overweight. And instead of Bill getting in his ass, I'm paraphrasing, but I think he sent him to Carolina or something like that to shed some of that weight off. And he called and got a check every week on one player just to make sure he was making progress. And I think that year Woodley was talked about how he made All-Pro. We know this is a guy that pays attention to detail. Mark, what's going on? He says, I had a friend that played for BB back in the day. He fumbled the ball after a touchdown, and Bill got all on him, cussing him back to the sideline. Now, what I know is all those turnovers won't be accepted. Nah, he'll bench you. This man is the Phil Jackson of football. That's why I didn't understand the whole ageism when you're talking about coaches. These guys are not playing. But if they can whip your team into shape, a lot of stuff that we had going on with our team, is we weren't ready to play. A lot of these games, undisciplined football, that gets stomped out day one. Francis says, hey fam, help a lady Falcon Falcon out. What is McKay's job? We don't know. We don't know. We were told that he was a CEO who wasn't part of day-to-day operations. Then in the press conference, he made sure that, yeah, I'm heavily a part of day-to-day. We don't know. We don't know. But secretly, he's been running this team. Q says, I love how much of an afterthought Smith has become. Yeah, family. We ain't even talked about we hadn't even talked about Arthur Smith like that, fam. but nobody has. I hadn't heard Art. You know what? Let me check in on Arthur Smith real quick. Let me see how he's doing. Financially, he's doing okay. I know that for sure. But let me see what Arthur Smith's doing these days. La 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 la. So 2 days ago, new potential names emerge after, God, man, these ads. Oh, God. After coaching shakeup. So, when it comes to the Steelers, Arthur Smith's name is being brought up in an article. And it's just a floating name. Yeah. So, really nothing. Really nothing. Somebody said on Twitter, for the record, Belichick could be worse for fantasy owners than Arthur Smith. I highly doubt that. Because he's not going to be calling the offense. I highly doubt that. If they brought Josh McDaniels in here, that offense wouldn't be worse off than it was last year. Nathan says, Arthur who? Never heard of her. Armani says his family is worth $6.5 billion. He'll be just fine. Alejandro says, what's good, Mark? I keep thinking Bill wanted to end his contract and start tanking to get out of that contract. Man, it's some interesting things that are coming out of New England now. With him pushing Tom Brady out the door. And I mean, technically, Tom Brady played 3 more years after that, then retired. But in that 3 years, he won a Super Bowl. So Kraft was definitely not happy with that at all. And rightfully so. Then you get Mac Jones. I think Bill Belichick's biggest mistake in the 3 years was putting Matt Patricia as the offensive coordinator. I don't understand that move. Matt Patricia isn't even a good defensive coordinator. So him going from defensive to offensive coordinator, it set Mac Jones back a year. And this year that just passed, they were competitive. They didn't have anything on offense. And they won some games. Let's do this. I think they won 2 games that they had no business winning last year. So let me look at this real quick. All right. So they beat the Steelers, who made the playoffs. They beat the Bills, who made the playoffs. They beat the Jets, and then they beat the Denver Broncos. So they weren't supposed to beat the Buffalo Bills. But some of these games that they played, I mean, they were close. It wasn't like they were getting their heads beat in. They lost to the Chiefs by 10 points. They lost to the Bills by 6 back in December. And mind you, fam, this team ain't have nothing. No, they got cooked by the Saints 34-0. Then the Cowboys 3-38. And they lost by 5 against the Eagles. So when you add the fact that Atlanta beat teams that are still currently in the damn playoffs, the Packers, the Bucks. But defensively, they had a good season. Artavia says, I was watching Terrence Mathis this morning, and he says he hopes Bill doesn't bring Josh McDaniels. I don't see that happening. Josh McDaniels is a terrible coach, awful, but he is a good offensive coordinator. I wouldn't want to see that pairing down here though. I think he needs to go a different route with offensive coordinator. So that's the play that's going to be interesting. Who our OC is going to be. But by Sunday, before the Sunday night game, fam, I think they're going to announce. If they don't, and this thing goes haywire, it was something going on in the negotiation. Something they weren't willing to get off of. It could be Rich McKay. But I'm going to be honest. Him coming for a second interview, Rich McKay was probably talked about in the first. So I think that part is taken care of. So he gets announced Sunday. There's a press conference Monday. Then the next step needs to be quarterback. Now I think they might take their time with quarterback. I don't think that's going to be an immediate thing. I think they're going to take their time with that one, whether they trade for one or whatever, or they decide to get one in the draft. I don't know. That piece of the puzzle, I don't think is going to get solved next week. I think they're going to take their time. I think he's going to get his coaching staff in here first. So I feel like if they announce Monday, Nielsen should have a job next week. And he deserves it. Just like Ben Johnson will probably get a job too. I just don't see what the fascination was with Ben Johnson. Nielsen's got better credentials. But again, every coaching cycle, there's always a hot OC that everybody wants to sink their teeth in. Millie says, but Mark, with Bill being in the league so long now, I would think him and McKay are already cool, but I don't know. And that could be the case. That could very well be the case. I'm not sure. If they announce on Sunday and they have the press conference Monday, I'll see body language. Bill ain't going to give you too much of anything anyway. I will tell you this. Atlanta, please do this, because I don't want to see this every time Bill steps up to the goddamn podium. Put the mics at half staff. Don't put them at full mast. Attention to detail. Put it at half mast. If you put it at full mast, Bill is going to 100 out of 100 times take that mic and put it at half mast anyway. So show him you've been paying attention to him. When he gets to the podium, he should touch the mic and be like, oh, it's already at half staff. It's already at half mast. I'm good. He does it every fucking time. If you see Bill Belichick go to the podium, the first thing he does is touch the mic and tilt it down. Show him some love at that press conference, fam. Alberto says, Mark, do you think Bill might be okay with a regular QB like a Brian Hoyer or a Minshew? I hope not. Nah, those are perennial backup quarterbacks, man. You need a starter. You need to start. We started a perennial backup quarterback with Desmond Ridder. People just needed to see he was a perennial backup quarterback. They needed to see that with their own eyes for a whole season. You need a starter. You need somebody that's, talented, explosive, or somebody that has that pedigree like Russell's. So again, I'm giddy. I'm happy. I couldn't do another offensive coordinator I just couldn't, fam. I couldn't. I could not. Arthur Smith turned me off the coordinators. Because here, and I'm going to talk about Arthur Smith right now. Here we had an offensive-minded coordinator who came in here arrogant like he had Bill Belichick's resume. See, when you got a resume, you can talk like that. And the thing I noticed about Bill the last couple of seasons, it was low-key humble at these press conferences. But you ain't really going to get a lot out of Bill Belichick. Those are going to be some of the most boring press conferences that we've ever seen. And I'm here for it. I don't care about the press as long as we putting up dubs. Y'all, even with a win, Bill ain't going to be too up. He come to the presser, he going to give you very veiled answers. Bill about football, man. You know, Art was about being the smartest man in the room. Problem was, he wasn't the smartest man in the room. That's the problem. And if you're ever the smartest man in the room, you need to find another room, because you can always learn something. But Art was never he wasn't even the second or third, but he walked around like he was the smartest man in the room. And when you walk around like that, and you're not proving to be the smartest man in the room, you start getting defensive. But let me show y'all what I mean by what Bill Belichick does at these press conferences. And you know, here's my thing. This is a small thing, and it's a small attention to detail, fam. It really is. Atlanta don't learn. We just got mics that we can actually start hearing the reporters now. We just started doing that, because before that, hold on, let me share my screen real quick. Before that, they would be like, so D-Led, we'll start off with you. Yeah, Coach. I was wondering what happened today in the third quarter. Wait. You can't hear shit. You can't hear nothing. So this is what I mean by Atlanta. Y'all see where that mic is? Y'all see where that mic is, right? That's a no-no. See, I be paying attention to little shit like this. Atlanta, if y'all, anybody that's in charge of this, if you're listening to my video right now, look at this mic. Look at it. Bill is like a goddamn pit bull when it comes to mics. He don't like them like that. Watch what he does, fam. That's the first thing he gonna do. That's what he does, fam. He does not like mics at full staff, bro. I'm telling you. See, I be paying attention to little shit like this. That's what he's going to do. Put him at half staff, family. Even, you know what? I take that back. Even when they, hold on, somebody paid attention right here. And this shit might have caught Bill, this might have caught him off guard. Hold on. Let me go back for a second. This might have caught him off guard. Now they were kind of half-staffed. The man still attacked him. So I don't know. But pay attention to that if they do announce him as coach Sunday and they bring him to the press. This is the first thing he's gonna do. I mean, it's little shit like that. Now, I don't know if that's just a ritual that he does. I don't know. But I'd be paying attention to shit like that. and just showing them love, man. But anyway, I'm gonna get up out of here, fam. Sunday, we were already gonna come back on Sunday, but hopefully when we come back on Sunday, we got our coach and we can move on to the next thing, which would be the quarterback search. I'm pretty positive they're going to keep everything close to the vest at this point because that's what Bill does. And as an organization, we've done that for a while now. So it'll be interesting to see what our next moves are going to be. But God damn it, I'm happy about this. A lot of people aren't happy because they've been wrong this entire time. And I love my fellow Falcon content creators, but some of y'all were wildly wrong. Wildly. Y'all been campaigning for guys that make absolutely no fucking sense. No sense. To try to get off of Belichick, to try to get off Pete Carroll. Y'all offering up names that make absolutely no sense. So y'all gonna have to moonwalk a little bit. That's cool though. But everybody needs to get on board if this happens. I think it's gonna be good for the culture. I think it's gonna be good for the organization. And you get immediate credibility, fam. Immediate as a team. There's gonna be expectations next year for sure. And it ain't 7 games. The expectation is going to be through the fucking roof. The Falcons are already going to be pegged as winning the NFC next year, the NFC South next year. Already. Automatic. Even though Tampa Bay's in the divisional game. But you make the right moves. Whoo. Todd says, I'm not unless Brady is QB. Well, Todd, Brady was QB for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for 3 years. The last 2 years, they got bumped out of the playoffs. So even Tom Brady couldn't Tom Brady in his last 2 years. That first year, that team was loaded. Todd, hold on. Todd says, hold on. Mark, Bill makes no sense. Okay, so I'll ask you this, fam. Honest question. Who would you have rather seen as the Falcons head coach, aside from a 6-time winning Super Bowl champion? He makes sense if you want to win a chip. Now, if you say Pete Carroll or Jim Harbaugh, hey, I'm with you on that. I have no problem with that. I'm in on them too. Todd said hoodie sales going through the roof. Family, I'm telling you, if this man gets announced Sunday, I got about 2 or 3 Falcons hoodies. I'm cutting the sleeves off. And y'all know how cold it is right now. I'm cutting the sleeves off, fam. And them hoodies ain't cheap. I never understood that about paraphernalia. You can buy a regular hoodie relatively cheap. They throw a Falcon logo on that bitch, it goes up by like $30. It goes up by like $30, fam. I saw one in Walmart, bruh. Walmart. Man, that's a tight ass hoodie. Man, I looked at the sticker, $42. What? Let me take that back. One of them jerseys, I'm keeping the sleeves on. Now that I think about it, I paid too much for that hoodie. The other 2, they getting them sleeves cut off. All right, Todd says Mike Vrabel. Okay. That's not a bad choice. That's not a bad choice. And I'll concede to this. If those 3 coaches weren't on the market, I would agree with you. Because I like Vrabel. I think Vrabel got a raw deal in Tennessee. But you got 3 guys out here on the market that have championship history. Maddie says I'd even take Antonio Pierce. That's another good choice. What I find fascinating about that, I don't understand how they have not announced this guy as the coach. That is blowing me right now. But I think Oakland gonna come. Mark Davis is gonna come to his goddamn senses. With Antonio Pierce. Clayton says, hell, I will buy a sleeveless hoodie because it'll just be a trademark that has to be sold to game money. Yeah, you're right. They might just start selling them with the sleeves off. They still gonna charge $39 for them though. But yeah, two of my hoodie, two of them hoodie sleeves are gone. 2 of them are gone. Atlanta Dog, what's going on? He says, do you think Terry will still be in charge of player personnel 50-50 like it was with Smith? I hope so. Because if they, man, you know, the one thing is this. If they get rid of Terry Fontenot, what they did to Terry Fontenot this year is criminal. But I don't think they're getting rid of Terry Fontenot, though. So in my heart of hearts, I think when they do announce Bill Belichick, Terry Fontenot will still be there. Because they already cut his nuts off at the presser. So to cut his nuts off and then tell him, hey, listen, we bringing in Bill Belichick. You need to pack your shit. That's not how you treat a guy, man. If that's the case, you should have fired him with Arthur Smith. Let that man walk away with his dignity. But I don't think they're getting rid of Terry. I think they're going to keep Terry on. Because Terry has done a good job thus far. You can't blame what happened this season on Terry. Terry wasn't throwing that ball out there. Terry wasn't making these idiotic offensive play calls in the red zone. He gave you a team that should have won. So Todd says, Mark, I'm in on Bill on one deal if McKay is shown the door. We probably won't see McKay after this press conference. We probably won't see McKay for the rest of the year. And I think one of the key indicators I think that popped out was the fact that it took Dallas so long to decide whether they were going to keep McCarthy, because everybody had, Bill going to the Cowboys. I had made a joke in the group chat, my fantasy league, even when Dallas was getting their ass whooped, Bill going to the Cowboys. But 24 hours passed, 48 hours passed, and I'm like, they ain't firing McCarthy. It really doesn't make any sense unless you know for absolute sure. Unless you know for absolute sure Bill Belichick is coming there, then you don't fire him. And then there were reports where Bill Belichick was pretty much talking about he wants a challenge. He wants to go to an underachieving team. I'm like, oh, Dallas is out the door then. And then I wake up and they kept Mike McCarthy. Then Bill Belichick is having a second interview. I'm like, oh yeah, this is this is pretty much a wrap. Kenny says, family, can we take our feelings out of it? If you take away the name and you offer me a coach that has won 6 chips to a coach that is maybe 1 or none or no head coaching experience, make it make sense, fellas. I agree with that 100%. 6 chips? 6 chips should be the selling point. I mean, imagine how that one-on-one meeting went. This is probably a coach that don't have to sell himself to you. That interview, and it went for 3 hours. 2 of it was probably spent eating and shooting the shit. Then in the final hour, hey, listen, Bill, you know I want you. I went on ahead and got all the other interviews out the way. Some of those guys, they're gonna get, they're gonna land on their feet. There's some pretty intelligent minds there, but I want you. So here's what we got right here. How can you make it work? I'm almost sure that's how the conversation went. Bill didn't have to sell himself. You already know this man comes with 6, been 9. The pedigree there. Bill's like, well, see, you got a good defense. Y'all finished 11th. We want to keep it there or move up. We got to do something about the quarterback. Well, what quarterback you have in mind? What offensive coordinator you got in mind? And they probably just shot back and forth. And he said, well, okay, sleep on it. If you want the job, it's here. Sleep on it. Then while Bill was sleeping on it, they gave Jim a call. Well, we might as well get him out the way too. Hey, Jim, how you doing? Hey, how you doing, guys? Yeah, we're doing fine. We're just kicking the tires, trying to pick your brain about a couple of things. Well, I got the Chargers job pretty much sewed up, but let's talk. Dixon Way, man, y'all go subscribe to his channel, fam. They do good play-by-play calling, and they do more than just football. He says Arthur had to sell why the Billy Goat should come here pretty much. As soon as we allow Jerry Gray and Ryan Nielsen to interview, it is what it is. Yeah. Bill gave him a call back and said, hey, listen, let's do it. All right, well, we gonna call you back. We're gonna call it a second interview, but really we doing paperwork. Because we're gonna announce you after the second interview. We're just gonna get paperwork, get the language right in the contract. Go over the game plan of what we need to do in the offseason. And then we're going to have you sign. We're going to shake hands. We're going to announce. And then we're going to do the press conference Monday. That's pretty much how this is going to go. But to me, and we talked about this, either it was the last video or the video before last. Man, I've been doing way more videos than I'm accustomed to. But we talked about storylines and how storylines move the needles in the NFL. Atlanta finally has a storyline. Wait, family, if you realize we haven't had a storyline, honestly, in 20 years. Not under Mike Smith. Not under Dan Quinn. We had the Super Bowl run, but there was no storyline attached to that. This is a clear storyline for the NFL to sell. That's why I know we're going to get primetime games. Can Bill Belichick take a team that hasn't won anything to the promised land? Then depending on what quarterback you get in here, that's another storyline. You go get a Kirk Cousins. You go get any one of those quarterbacks. There's a storyline there too. Bill also had a huge ego, and what would be better than winning in the same division Tom won in? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I'm not going to lie, fam. I want to be part of the team that gets him that 15th win. That's a primetime game, by the way. When he gets to 14 and he's chasing 15, they're going to move that to a primetime. That's part of being in a winning culture. That's just like when LeBron passed Kareem's record for the scoring title. I'm not a Lakers fan, and it felt good seeing that. But the Lakers so used to fucking winning, that's just kind of a blip in the radar for them. But even then, y'all saw what happened when LeBron passed Kareem. They fucking stopped the game. Imagine that. They stopped the game, bro. That wasn't just he passed him and then it was next possession. No. They stopped the game. They gave LeBron time to kind of soak that in. They brought Kareem to the middle of the court. LeBron said a couple of words. And then they got back to play. Man, that was like in between that and them actually getting back to the game. Man, it was like 20-something minutes. That's another thing that the Lakers can put on their mantle. We watched LeBron James pass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in a Lakers jersey. Now, as much as people don't like Bill, I'm there. I'm here for that. He passes it, and he's wearing a Falcon cutoff hoodie. Not a Patriots hoodie. Not a Cleveland Browns hoodie. A Falcons hoodie, bruh. That goes a long way when you're trying to build championship pedigree. What Ben Johnson gonna do when he get here? Ain't nothing on the books for him. So again, if I have to take Bill Belichick winning his 7th title, tying Tom Brady, becoming the all-time most winningest coach, for us to get a chip, sign me the fuck up. Because it's bigger than Bill. It's about the logo. If I got to go through all that just to get a title here, I'm taking it. Because when Bill leaves, the one thing that remains is Atlanta won a title. I don't care when they do the 30 for 30. That's another win. When they're talking about Bill Belichick's life after he's retired from the game, his last stop, if we win a chip, is us. We're part of the story of the greatest coach in NFL history. That goes a long way, fam. That's all I'm saying. Because right now, we're on the laughing side of NFL history. This comes full circle, fam. Rankin Smith hired Dan Reeves after going years of young coaches, and now Arthur Blank fired Dan after his first year as the owner. Now he is going for the old Billy Goat. Hey, man, I'm here for all of it. Kenny says, I'm definitely here for the storyline because ours has been how many ways we find to lose games. If I'm from Boston, I can't wait for the hoodie to win for us. Hey, I'm telling you, fam, that first game cutoff hoodie is going to be all over the place. Y'all know us folks in Georgia know how to get down. Cutoff jerseys everywhere. So this is why I say even the people that aren't really high on Bill Belichick, when this season starts, we're going to lock in. Because there's an expectation to win. We're all going to lock in. Now, people will say, well, Mark, what about the flip side? What if this man has really lost it? What if what we saw in the last 3 years in New England is pretty much what this guy is now? Y'all know me, fam. If that's what happens, that's what happens. But at least you can say, You swung for the best guy for the job, fam. This is the best coach in NFL history. How do you not go after that? That's like if LeBron hit the market right now. How do you not go after LeBron James? 39 and all. Millie says the thing is that it's not hard to have us start winning. Arthur Smith was calling dumbish, and Nielsen had holes in the D. Billy covers up those holes and bring in an OC to get the offense up and running simple. Yeah, it's not hard. I agree with that 100%, Mill. It's not hard to fix this team at all. It's not hard to fix this team. We've been preaching that all year offensively because I'm an offensive minded guy. The offense was frustrating the hell out of me. Because I'm like, this offense can easily be fixed. What are we doing here? For us to average 17, that's insulting. I don't think that happens next year. So anyhow, fam, I'm definitely about to get out of here now because I've been running my mouth for an hour and 14. So I will holler at you boys Sunday. No matter what happens, I'm gonna be back on here Sunday. And we'll take it from there. We're either gonna have good news or no news. That's how I look at it. But we're gonna have something nonetheless come Sunday. Plus, there are some good divisional games coming our way. So I'm amped up to see a lot of this stuff. I think Green Bay is being underestimated at this point. San Fran need to be careful. Good shit, Mark. Dixon Way says good shit, Marcus, and the presser should be in Tuesday, in my opinion. I honestly think if they announce Sunday, that presser gonna be Monday. I don't think Atlanta is gonna waste no time. Because if it's another face-to-face in the second interview, chances are Bill's gonna be in Atlanta already. So to me, I think this is just more or less them getting paperwork taken care of in the second interview. I think they're calling it a second interview, but honestly, I firmly believe they knew they were hiring Bill from the jump. So I think this is just a situation of them getting paperwork done. And if he's already in Atlanta, they'll just go ahead and get it out the way on Monday. What I do want to see, if this does happen, I want to see one thing and one thing only. I want to see Terry Fontenot right there, and I do not want to see Rich McKay. If Rich McKay is in the building, he needs to be in the background. Terry Fontenot needs to be on one side of Bill Belichick. So anyway, fam, I'm up out of here. Y'all have yourselves a great, what's today? Thursday? Have a fantastic Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We will reconvene again here on Sunday. That being said, I'm up out of here, fam. Peace.